Our roads can be much safer if all users are more disciplined, courteous, and follow the rules. Let's make our roads accident-free. Drive within the speed limit and never overtake when it's not safe to do so. Let road safety start with you and me. Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Arroyo Eubanks. On the pages today, we'll share reasons why people should avoid drinking alcohol and driving. Also, let there be lights. Not the Christmas light now, but Sabina Park gets light. All these and more to come as we turn the pages of the magazine. Stay with us.
The Ebola virus is transmitted through direct contact with an infected person's blood or other bodily fluids like saliva, urine, stool, and semen. Symptoms of Ebola include sudden fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, and rash, and in some cases both internal and external bleeding, leading to death. Protect yourself. Avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Avoid contact with infected persons. Don't touch the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Wash hands frequently with soap and water and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. To know more, call 1-888-663-5683.
Safe driving on the roads requires that users are alert. Alcohol is among a wide list of things to avoid to help stay alert and maintain control. As we approach the season of merrymaking and the temptations to drink, let's explore further why it's a good idea to put down the drink if you plan to get behind the wheel.
A car came like out of hell and just came right on the sidewalk, knocked me down.
I hear this boom boom, loud sound, and I turned around to see what happened. I didn't know it was me who got the hit from the vehicle that were parked on the sidewalk.
They had to cut out a lot of the intestines.
When they lifted the car and took out my leg, it was smashed, badly smashed from the ankle.
The man was stone drunk.
Two women reliving the trauma that still haunts them. Their stories are similar. Young, carefree girls going along happily, life interrupted by a driver under the influence. Marlene and Eileen are among thousands of Jamaicans who suffer every year because there are still people who drink and drive.
It has been 38 years and I still have pains every day.
From that time until now, I'm still having pains.
Every year, hundreds of Jamaicans like Marlene Walker Wilson and Eileen Barnes are injured in road crashes caused by drivers under the influence of alcohol. Drivers who may not be drunk, but who have enough alcohol in their system to dull their senses.
As you increase the level of alcohol, it depresses your ability to function. And as far as driving is concerned, the things that we are focusing on mostly, it impairs your judgment. It affects your ability to make decisions. Whether you should overtake or not, when you should overtake. It affects your reaction time. If a vehicle is coming at you, it affects your ability to react at a particular time. It affects the time that you take to press the brake, to stop. And it affects your vision. You can't see as well if your alcohol level is too high.
It's for these reasons that Jamaica and other countries have put limits on how much alcohol a driver should have in his or her system.
We in Jamaica now, along with many other countries, are at 0.08 limits. The European countries have reduced it to 0.05, and I think America is going to follow suit. The reason being is that at 0 alcohol levels, your ability to concentrate is 100%. As you increase it by even 0.01, 0.02, every single digit of increase, even at lower levels, increase your risk of being involved in a crash.
So if the legal limit is 0.08, in real terms, how much alcohol are we talking about?
We're talking about one beer, we're talking about a glass of wine, we're talking about one drink of rum. But it depends a lot on your metabolism.
How fast your body uses fuel, how your body deals with alcohol. It also depends on how much food you have in your stomach, how healthy you are, and how tired you are.
There are so many variables, and that's why rather than deal with the technical things, we just say don't drink and drive.
So what about drinking responsibly?
When you drink with your friends at a party and you tell somebody else to drive, so you have a designated driver. That is the essence of responsible drinking. Responsible drinking don't mean that you can drink a small amount and go and drive. It means that if 5 or 6 of you go to a party, one is designated as the driver, and that person does not drink any alcohol whatsoever, and the others can have a good time.
Besides the increased risk of a collision, serious injuries, and even death, there are other reasons drivers should avoid drinking. The long arm of the law.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force has been stepping up its breath testing efforts with a view to reducing the number of persons driving under the influence.
We have what is known as our traffic ban policy operations, and this of course occurs from Thursday to Monday morning of every week. And what we do, we ensure that we are present on the arterial and main road areas leading from entertainment venues and where people drink too much. And we encourage people to have their designated driver once they decide to, have a few drinks. But we have been doing quite a number of tests. In fact, so far this year we have done over 1,000 tests. And a number of persons have been caught over the limit, and we have arrested and persons have been convicted.
The breath testing process is fairly straightforward.
So the Intoxicator SD5 is the preliminary testing device. The first line of contact with the suspect on the road here. This part of it is called the mouthpiece. So what is attached to what is called a sample port of the device. It is to be noted that one mouthpiece is used per subject for sanitation purpose. Instrument is powered on, and the subject blows from this end of the mouthpiece. After the specimen has been subtracted, it's then analyzed and give a reading on the screen here. The limit in Jamaica is 35 microgram per 100 milliliter of breath. You're 98 micrograms, so you're over the limit. If you are found to be over 35 micrograms, then you are taken to a designated breathalyzer center. There are 20 centers island-wide.
If drivers fail a breath test, they could have points deducted from their license or lose it altogether. In addition, the court may impose hefty fines and hand down a prison sentence. In addition to alcohol, doctors advise drivers to stay away from other mind-altering substances such as some prescription drugs and narcotics like marijuana.
In fact, there was a study done by Professor McDonald at the university many years ago. And the study found that a significant number of people who were involved in crashes at the university hospital had marijuana in their system.
Health Safety Unit in the Ministry of Transport and Works, the National Road Safety Council, and the police are urging drivers to be more responsible.
In the same way that a diabetic has to be very careful what he or she eats, you have to look at the label, you have to ask questions. The same way that if you're a responsible person and you are going to be driving, you have to be very careful what you're drinking.
And look out for other road users, drivers and pedestrians.
You need to realize that when you put yourself behind a wheel, it's a very dangerous instrument.
After 24 years, I'm still trying to cope with it.
If you have to drink alcohol, don't go behind a steering wheel.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Give yourself a fighting chance. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Kingston is Jamaica's cultural and entertainment mecca, boasting world-class venues such as the Sabina Park. This historic spot offers the best in sporting recreation in the form of cricket, lovely cricket. Installation of proper lighting now allows patrons to enjoy the game at night. We have more in the Spotlight on Sports.
Sabina Park was established in 1930, and the first test match was played there soon after. One of its most famous moments came when former West Indian cricketer Garfield Sobers made a record-breaking score of 365 not out in 1958, a record that stood unbeaten for 36 years. Over the years, many other greats have shown their prowess at the grounds, including the likes of Courtney Walsh and Chris Gayle. Then in 2007, the stadium underwent major renovations to maintain and improve its capacity for hosting future great moments. The work was done to accommodate the International Cricket Council's World Cup and included the expansion of the capacity to about 20,000 seats. But there was one element still missing.
And God said, and there was light.
August 3, 2014 will surely go down as a momentous day in Jamaica's sporting history, as beams of light flowed over the famous cricket grounds, signaling brighter nights for Sabina Park.
Light is an integral part of the Indian culture, with the annual celebration of the Festival of Lights, referred to as Diwali. Cricket is also an integral part of the Indian culture. So just imagine what happens when you put the two things together, cricket and lights, and then ask an Indian government for support. The result is here for all to see, lights at Sabina Park.
Our national sport policy in Jamaica highlights as a priority the government's commitment to improving our sport infrastructure in order to foster the further development of sport. We had to find a way to ensure that lights would come to Sabina Park.
Yes, it was all made possible by an agreement with the government of India, which provided a grant of $2.1 million to Jamaica. Discussions began in 2012 between both nations. Then, Sabina Park Holdings and Kingston Cricket Club created a plan that was given to the Indian government. The first installment of $770,000 was released on March 31, 2014, and the second installment of $1.33 million was released on July 10, 2014.
This assistance is a reflection of our deep friendship and understanding, and also the recognition of Jamaica as one of the important bonds between the two cricket-loving peoples of India and Jamaica. We are trying to do everything possible to consolidate and strengthen our bilateral relationship.
The $2.7 million floodlight installation project, which was executed by the Urban Development Corporation, was rounded off with a $600,000 contribution from the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Works included the design, fabrication, and installation of 4 sets of lights, and 2 standby generators were set up to maintain uninterrupted power at the ground. All this now means that the world-famous Sabina Park will be able to host night cricket matches and other events, such as conventions and more.
The installation of lights here at Sabina is a significant milestone. The park is now up to international standards, putting it on equal footing and equal terms with any other stadium in the world.
I am very pleased to say with confidence and pleasure that the Sabina Park floodlighting project embodies all the hallmarks of collaboration, bilateral friendship, and teamwork for the betterment of Jamaica, and in particular for the furtherance of sport development.
If we only hope and pray, there will be a better day. There will be a better day. There will be a better day.
It surely is a new dawn for Sabina.
Let us now have light here at Sabina.
Dreams of brighter days, giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks, giving thanks as the days goes by, giving thanks.
There is no vaccine for the chikungunya virus. If you've been infected, take paracetamol such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol to reduce pain and fever. Sleep under mosquito netting and get plenty of rest. Take showers or sponge baths in room temperature water to lower fever, especially in children, and drink lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. If your symptoms worsen, go and see a doctor. Do not take aspirin as this could cause bleeding, and never use rubbing alcohol. To learn more, call 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683.
Did you know regular physical activity controls your weight, reduces your risk of cardiovascular diseases, reduces your risk for type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, reduces your risk of some cancers, strengthens your bones and muscles, and increases your chance of living longer? Get active, get fit, stay healthy.
A recap of the major news stories of the week next.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Labor and Social Security Minister Derek Kellier announced on Tuesday that government would be spending $75 million on a short-term intervention program for vulnerable persons. A similar allocation was made in 2013 in response to the economic challenges being encountered by vulnerable groups.
In implementing this program, the same methodology used last year will be adopted. Each member of parliament will again be allocated $1 million and will receive a letter that provides details of the project along with the prescribed form for the submission of beneficiaries' names and projects.
The intervention will be undertaken during the remainder of the 2014-2015 financial year. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has instructed the board of the National Housing Trust NHT to provide her office with regular reports on its operations. While responding to questions in Parliament on the NHT's acquisition of the Orange Grove property in Trelawney, she explained that her permanent secretary had not been receiving monthly briefs from the NHT board, but said there was no statutory requirement for such reporting.
However, I can say to you that a letter was sent to the Housing Trust that we are to receive all minutes of meetings where decisions are taken, and the accounting officer will be keeping a very close watch on exactly what is happening in terms of the minutes from the meetings.
At this Tuesday's sitting of Parliament, the National Security and Industry Ministers made their contributions to the debate on 3 bills to establish the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, as Jamaica's final court of appeal.
2 remaining symbols of our sovereignty illustrate how powerfully that psychological indoctrination of slavery and colonialism still affects us. Namely, the fact that the British Queen is still our head of state, and secondly, that Her Majesty in Council, that is the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, is our final court of appeal. That we persist with these anachronisms confirm that we hold on to the belief of our own inferiority.
No one is questioning that the Privy Council was an institution of historical significance to this region. However, it has become too far removed from Jamaica's reality, current reality, and it is no longer appropriate that it be retained as our final court of appeal.
Government needs a 2/3 majority vote in both houses of Parliament to have the CCJ replace the UK-based Privy Council as Jamaica's final court of appeal. More than 5,000 residents in central Westmoreland are now receiving regular water supply after the recent commissioning of the Barneyside tank. The tank, which can store 150,000 gallons of water, was refurbished at a cost of $4.3 million. It's serving the communities of Barneyside, Cornwall Mountain, Mount Stewart, Cold Spring, Castle Mountain, New Milnes, Lambs River, Belvedere, Struy, and Macfield. The distribution pipeline was also repaired to enable the piping of water to Betheltown residents. 15 automated immigration kiosks have been installed at the island's 2 international airports to speed up the processing time of passengers and improve border security. 10 have been installed at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay and the other 5 at the Norman Manley in Kingston. National Security Minister Peter Bunting says the system, which reduces the physical interaction between immigration and passengers, will not compromise border security.
And allows PICA to continue to detect persons of interest by cross-referencing incoming passengers against the nation's watch list and conducting appropriate security checks by way of a built-in matrix.
Government and several private sector partners have opened the first of 3 plastic recycling depots under the Recycle Now Jamaica project. The Trinity Port Maria Recycling Depot has the capacity to produce 160 bales or process 768,000 PET bottles per month. The project is being managed by Recycling Partners of Jamaica Limited, a non-profit organization formed by representatives of a public-private sector partnership to build and support national awareness of the need to recycle.
I endorse this project as a protection of the environment plays an integral role in the development of communities for now, with sustainability for the future.
And finally, the Commission of Inquiry into the May 2010 events in West Kingston got underway at the Jamaica Conference Center on Monday. Commission Chairman Sir David Simmons said more than 500 potential witnesses had been identified to testify before the Commission.
In our search for the truth and the facts, it is absolutely crucial that members of the public who are in possession of evidence relevant to our terms of reference testify before this commission.
The Commission of Inquiry is being held from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. weekdays and is scheduled to last for 3 months. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
Holidays are here for us to enjoy ourselves, and the best thing to do is just try to relax, enjoy yourself. You know, don't really overdo it, do everything in moderation, and try to be as safe as possible. Take care of yourself and take care of the other persons next to you.
And that's it for today's magazine program. Remember to make safety your priority and keep the link. Tell us what you thought of the show. Send an email to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter at JISnews. Also, click on our website jis.gov.jm for the very latest government information. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Oroya Eubanks, inviting you to join us again tomorrow for more information you can use. Until then, take care, and thanks so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.